Hi, Libby.
Thank you.
Hi, Libby.
Hello.
Libby, you look gorgeous.
Oh, cool. There it is. Sure, I found it. No, I've got a person up here. I can see someone preparing to cook. Got all that.
I was led to believe that you were the voiceover man. Lucky you kicked out.
Let me explain something to you about English. Somebody is better at it than you.
Hello.
Hi. The table. Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to our Modern Indian Fiesta you're going to be watching today. My name is Libby. My role with Thermomix is the branch manager for the Inner Southeastern branch, which is who you've been invited to come along and watch and be part of this experience with us today. And we're very pleased to represent all of our 140 consultants within our branch and team leaders. We're very happy to present 9 dishes for you today, all zooming all over Melbourne in the comfort of our own kitchens. It is going to be very much real life, real families, real food. So there may be some experiences throughout the session today where you're going to have family members walking in and out, but that's okay. That's what we're all about here at Thermomix, is all about family and great food. So thank you very much for joining us. We know you're going to love watching the 9 dishes. We know you're going to have lots of questions, and we have a very special guest today, Sadhna Wilson, who's known as a tropical Indian, Sadhna, you'll be able to correct me on that later. And you can find her on Facebook and Instagram, and she'll be providing some special comments throughout today as well. I mentioned before, we're going to take you through 9 dishes, and we're going to inspire you with beautiful modern Indian food. All of the recipes we're cooking today will be found on Cookie Do, and we'll place those links in the chat box for you as well. By all means, we have somebody manning the chat box at all times so you can ask away, but no doubt you will have your consultant who will be chatting with you throughout today's cooking class. Now, very exciting, we have about 480 people registered to today's class over Zoom. Who would have thought you'd have 480 people in one class? So it's going to be very full. And also just letting you know, we are going to be recording today for training purposes. So if you prefer to not be showing your camera, by all means, you can switch that off. We would love you to interact with us over the chat box. We have to keep everyone on mute purely because of the numbers within the Zoom room. So you can all hear and follow along with the amount of people that we have here today. So there are about 60 non-owners on today who don't have a Thermomix in your life or probably have never used a Thermomix. So I need to just give you a little bit of information before we start cooking so you know what it's all about. What is this world of Thermomix and what are we doing here today in particular? Part of your investment in a Thermomix is also having a lifetime consultant follow you along your Thermomix journey to either inspire you with recipes, to inspire you with techniques and different ways you can use your Thermomix with all of the different functions. So let me just explain to you a couple of things that are important to know about a Thermomix. So a Thermomix is 2269 and it becomes everything that you need to start cooking. One thing that's particularly important right now, a great offer that we've had for the first time ever, is through the month of September, you can actually earn your Thermomix with just 4 sales. Now that is an offer that hasn't been offered before and it's only lasting for 1 month. I'm going to share more information with you later throughout the class, and if you'd like to actually stay on at the end of the class and ask me specific more information about that Earn For program, we'd love to talk to you about that. Absolutely, there are other ways to pay for a Thermomix, such as 24 months interest-free and an easy 3 credit card payment. There's also straight out direct debit, and you can expect to receive your Thermomix within 14 days at the moment due to the current backlog with Australia Post. Another really popular way to get yourself a Thermomix on your benchtop as quickly as possible is through our Earn program, and I will talk to you about that throughout today. As I mentioned, it is Earn For. It's normally Earn 6, which means you have to have 6 sales to earn your Thermomix. In September, it's just 4. So no doubt through today's session, you're going to think of a few different pain points that really bother you in the kitchen. We'd love to hear about that in your chat box, so talk to us about that so we can actually resolve some of those through the wonders of the Thermomix and through explaining all of the different functions that will resolve those pain points and provide much more efficiency in the kitchen and much more fun in the kitchen, as well as beautiful restaurant quality meals. So definitely through today's session, you're going to have quite a few aha moments and quite a few wow moments. And we'll definitely pause on those and just have a moment to talk about how we got to those moments, particularly with the Thermomix and the functions we're using. I would really encourage you though to stay on at the end and have a chat to us at the end if you don't have a consultant attached to you today, that we can help you with any of those questions, or as I mentioned, give you some more information about joining the team or the Earn For program. If you'd also like to organise your purchase today and you don't have your Thermomix consultant attached to you, by all means stay on at the end and we can help you organise that as well. That being said, let's start cooking in my kitchen in sunny Mount Eliza. And then before we go zooming off to sunny Michelle's kitchen in Bentley East. Cheltenham? I always Bentley East. That's right. Thanks, Michelle. So I'm going to be starting today with a dish called Buna Gosht. And the reason why I'm doing this today is because this is one of my husband's favorite dishes of all times. So I thought, why not showcase a few? And there's our dinner cook for tonight as well. Thanks, Amanda, for popping that in the chat box. That is brilliant. So what I'm going to do is move to the other camera, Jenny, perhaps to spotlight that, the roving camera. And I'm going to showcase for you how to use the Thermomix up close. So you don't have to see my kitchen all the time. So I think we've got just to move, I'm not sure who's spotlighting. I think maybe Amanda. If we can spotlight onto Kate's phone.
What's it called, Libby? Is it under Kate? She hasn't done it on Kate.
Camera 2.
Okay, 1 second.
1 second, everybody. There you go. Okay. So here we are. You can see the touch screen of the Thermomix, and you'll notice that we have 3 dials: time, temperature, and speed. So for those of you who have the TM31, you'll notice that it is a touch screen, and I can swipe to the right or to the left. So swiping to the left, you'll notice I've got a whole lot of functions here that I can utilize, such as the scales, dough, the turbo setting, pre-clean, the kettle function, which I must admit I use all of the time, the blending function, slow cook, and for those TM5 and TM31 owners, yes, that is a new function as well. Sous vide and fermentation, both new functions for us also. The rice cooker function. Now these are functions that have just been added recently over Wi-Fi updates, and the thicken function. So we love our TM6 because it just keeps getting smarter and smarter and adding more and more functions through the software updates, which is amazing. So what you'll notice also, I can swipe to the right and automatically I'm straight into Cookie Do. Now Cookie Do for us is a recipe platform which holds over 60,000 different recipes. So I can, for the TM5 owners, you'll be accessing this through your Cook Key. TM31 owners, this is something for you to consider. You can still use Cookie Do as from a manual setting, but just, accessing it through the app or through the internet on your device, whether it's a phone or a laptop or PC. We're very lucky with the TM6 owners because we get to access it directly into our machine. So you'll notice here, I can just search straight into Cookie Do for the dish that I'm going to be cooking today, but I've also bookmarked it as well. So let's just type it in. Una Gosht. There it is. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so apologies if I'm not. But you'll notice here, it's got ratings on it, 4.7, which means it's been rated by our customers as a brilliant recipe. Takes an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not going to be taking an hour and 20 minutes today. I'm going to be doing a few hacks behind the scenes, which I will explain a little bit as well. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to take me straight into the recipe. Just 1 minute. There we go. Now, what I want to show you, not only does it show me a picture of the finished product, which I must admit I am a non-cook. So I do need that picture just so I know exactly what I'm going to be ending up at the end of today's cook. But what I love here, the preparation time, which means my time in the kitchen, is 15 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. If you're a busy mum, busy family, I can search based on the preparation time, less than 20 minutes if that's all I've got. Now, it'll take me through the steps. And usually, to speed up my efficiency, I get all of the ingredients out ready to go along the side. And then it just makes me a lot more efficient in the kitchen. You notice I've got a whole lot of tips there, hints and tricks that will tell me how to get the best out of that recipe as well. But down the bottom here, I have the nutrition panel. So for those of you who are following particular diets and lifestyles, you'll have all of that nutrition information per one portion that's available to you even before you decide to start cooking, which is amazing. Right, so shall we start cooking? Everyone ready for me to start cooking?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So we're going to start off with a couple of onions, popping into the bowl, which I have already prepared. Popping those onions straight into the bowl. Yep, lovely. And some coriander. Now I'm not putting too much coriander in. We're not massive coriander lovers. The thing with the Thermomix, yes, you're going to have recipes that will specify exactly the ingredients and how much, but you can customize that to your family needs as well. If you like chili or you don't like chili, you can make it hotter, leave the chili out, have a little play around with it and customize it also. So I'm going to pop the lid on. You'll notice there, guys, Did you notice that the lid didn't come off? The MC, sorry. So for the TM5 owners and the TM31, that's a new novel approach to the lid. We love that. So you do get very used to that. Pop that on, you'll notice that everything is preset. 3 seconds on speed 7. So all I need to do is simply turn the dial up to speed 7. And I'm done with my chopping. Now imagine if you were there manually chopping your onions. Not only have you got tears rolling down your eyes, but stinky hands and all the rest. There you go. There's my chopping done in 3 seconds. Now, I'm not going to put my face over the bowl because I will start crying. It's quite strong. I'm going to, the best I can, explain all of the aromas I'm going to be experiencing this afternoon, so you can actually, feel like you're in my kitchen, feel like you're, channeling your modern Indian food as well. And hopefully we inspire you to do these dishes after the class today. I'm going to pour in 30 grams of oil, vegetable oil. That'll do. Oh, see, that's okay. A little bit more. Thank you, Kate. Pop the lid on. And we're going to saute that for 2 minutes on Varoma speed, speed 2. Now, this is the part I love the most about cooking with the Thermomix. I can go off and do whatever I like at this point. Usually get kids organised, after school sports, when they're on, or just do general cleaning up and tidying up, which is always great. Now, while I have all of your attention and waiting for a couple of minutes, I figure I'll show you a couple of things from the mix shop, which some of you may or may not be aware that we have a mix shop through our website. It's the retail centre on our website through thermomix.com.au. And there's a couple of new items on there that we're loving here at Thermomix. One is this little ceramic cup. You'll notice it's got the lid there. It's actually got a little drinking area up the top there, but it's got the sealable lid there. So I don't know about you guys, but for my 1 hour of exercise at the moment, I'm enjoying going for a walk with one of my friends and either putting in a nice hot chocolate or sneaky glass of wine or a cup of tea, whatever you prefer, and take that with you on your walk, and it keeps it hot or cold, which is it's insulated. So it's a really great modern looking little travel cup to take with you. Some of you will have noticed these beautiful tins, the bundt tin, and we have a whole collection on just bundt cakes, and can I highly recommend doing the date and walnut bundt with the caramel sauce. It is absolutely divine. But what you'll notice about this in particular, it's really high, really quite hard, heavy, thick quality. So very good quality products on the mix shop. The other thing I wanted to quickly show you is the Meter Plus. Now this is a smart connected thermometer, which when you download an app on your phone and you insert it into the protein, whether it's chicken, beef, lamb, seafood, whatever it may be, and you identify from your app on your phone how you want your protein actually cooked, you will be notified through your app when the protein is cooked perfectly as to how you've actually identified it to be. Now these are available on the mix shop as well, and highly recommended smart connected thermometer. All right, Meter Plus that's called. Right, next day we're popping in some spices at this point. So I'm going to be adding in the black mustard seeds. I've got all this together. One thing we love about cooking in the Thermomix is it's all back to basic ingredients. Okay, so I've got the black mustard seeds. You'll notice I've got them all in there, the cardamom pods, and I've crushed those as well. A cinnamon quill and also some bay leaves. So I'm going to put all of those in. Okay, pop the lid on. And that's going to just saute again for about 40 more seconds. Now, whilst that's doing that, I'm going to share my screen with you very briefly, just to introduce you to Cookie Dough and show you how you can get the most out of Cookie Dough, because really I believe Cookie Dough is a game changer for most of our Thermomix customers. And I just have to show it to you, particularly the very COVID-friendly ordering ingredients online. So perhaps if we flick back to my camera, Amanda, back to Libby's camera. Yes, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Share my screen and introduce you to Cookie Dough before we go off to other people's kitchens and keep cooking with you. So you'll notice here we have the home screen on Cookie Do. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to take you through, it's all right, take you through to the next step here. So, oh, how about that? I was supposed to have taken out the onion, but I left it in there. So things like that, it doesn't matter. I just leave it all in the bowl together. I don't need extra steps. I'm too busy generally. I've got 4 kids at home. I just want to keep cooking and keep the bowl going, the heat going, that is. Pop the, it's taking me to take the measuring cup off. So very quickly, just bang, that's off. And that's going to continue sauteing for 4 minutes. And the sort of aromas that I can smell right now is a mixture of cinnamon, some spice in there, but it's not overpowering or it's not making my eyes water or anything. It's just beautiful aromas coming out of the Thermomix, which is lovely. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen with you and just share Cookie Do with you. So you'll notice here on the home screen, you can scroll right down and you've got trending recipes. You've got some suggestions around a particular topic of savoury baking. And then you've also got latest collections down the bottom here. So let's have a look at that latest collections. If I click on see more, you'll notice here that the filters are set automatically to Australia. Now what I can do is either click Australia off and it will bring up 4,219 different collections from all over the world. Now I can actually press on my filters, excuse me, and select particular countries that I know English speaking that I'm going to follow some of their recipes. But however, you can also use Google Translate with your phone over the display of your TM6 to translate a recipe for you from another country as well, which is a great little hack to use also. Now, say for example, I might have something in my pantry or fridge that I want to use, and say for example, I have some mince. Everyone's got mince in their family, haven't they? So, all right, I might actually need to write beef mince. Okay. Generally, that's a bit of a staple for us, isn't it? I'm going to flick that through to recipes. Now, all of a sudden, I have 104 different recipes that I can use with my minced beef in the fridge ready to go. So I might look at these and go, gee, I like the sound of these. I quite like the sound of the meatball subs. Yep, 4.8 stars, been rated by our customers. Looks great. I'm going to add that to my shopping list. Head over to my shopping list. And you'll notice there I have already some some recipes I've selected already. And I can also go through and delete off ingredients I already have. And what you'll notice, okay, I now have an opportunity. I'm just going to reduce that. I now have an opportunity here to order ingredients online. I can, if I don't want to do the online shopping, I can share that with my partner. I can print out a list, or I can email it to my partner as well. Or you can also access the shopping list from your app on your phone. However, I can also click on order ingredients, and guess what? That takes me directly to Woolworths online. I can do click and collect, or I can also do delivery. Now, we only have Woolworths online at the moment. Coles will be coming on board soon, I believe. We're not exactly sure when that's coming, but stay tuned, stay in conversation with your consultant, and they'll be able to let you know when that development happens. But how amazing is that? So if you're into, we all know one of the secrets to saving money with your Thermomix is meal planning. So if you're into meal planning and you're actually able to plan out your whole week of meals, you can organise all of your ingredients. It automatically populates it on Woolworths online, saving you time there. Then you can flick it directly off and do your shopping. Incredible, right? So there's some solutions for you right there. Now, Jenny, I'm just about finished here. I have 10 seconds more to go. So I may as well stay with me before we flick over to Michelle. And then I'm going to get the lamb actually in the next stage to start that cooking process. Here we go. I'll just actually move my screen. You should be able to see that okay, guys? Right, okay. 800 grams of boneless lamb. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a family of 6, so I have increased the lamb to just over 1 kilo. And that's okay, as long as you're keeping within the safety features of the Thermomix, oopsie, and not going over the maximum. That's really important. So I'm just going to pop that, oops, that lamb in. Oh, did get a cloth. Here we go. All right, now to the lamb, I'm going to just pop that lid back on and saute that for another 2 minutes. So at this point, I'm going to let that saute. I may as well, Jenny, go straight over to Michelle's kitchen. I think, Amanda, you're spotlighting. So thanks, guys, for being with me for a little while. Over to you, Michelle.
Hi, thanks, Libby. Welcome to my kitchen in Bentley East. I have the pleasure of presenting 2 dishes with you today. And the first one is a coconut dal. So the thing I love about the Thermomix and cooking Indian food is that I've got an Italian background. So when I first started looking at Indian recipes, I was a bit overwhelmed by the amount of ingredients and all of that sort of stuff. But the great thing about a dal is actually not a lot of ingredients, but they're ingredients that pack a bit of a punch with flavour. So you get a really nice meal and it's ready in about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is tilt my screen towards the Thermomix. And Libby's done a great job of explaining to you about cookie dough and all of that. So what I've actually done today is I've saved that recipe into my week. So she was talking about meal planning. So you can see here that the 2 dishes that I'm preparing for you today have shown up in my week. So I can just go straight in and select that dish. Now, as Libby mentioned before, there's lots of information down here, your ingredients down the side, preparation, nutritional information. We've got a lot of customers who are following different dietary plans at the moment, whether it be low carb or high protein or no sugar, any of those sort of things. So you can monitor all of that through there. But really, once you're ready to go, we just go start cooking. It's as easy as that. So I always say to my family who can now cook, you don't need to be able to cook, you just need to be able to read. So my first ingredient is 240 grams of onions. I'm just going to tear my scales there and pop those in. So I've just quartered those, so don't have to over prepare anything. Let the Thermomix do the hard work for you. Next ingredient is 1 to 2 fresh green chilies. So I've got my chilies there. My little tip on something like that is that I actually buy chilies and keep them in the freezer. Because generally when you're cooking them in something like this, it doesn't matter that they've been frozen, and it just means you can always have them on hand. Next one is the ripe tomatoes. So again, right here. And I love all the colours when you're using fresh ingredients as well. So we're going to chop those up together there. So popping the lid on. It's preset 5 seconds for me and asking me to go around to number 6. So I'm just being asked to scrape down the side here. The new TM6 spatula, because a lot of people used to say they didn't get on too well with the TM5 spatula, has actually got a silicone tip. So it actually makes it that much easier. So I'll just show you what we've got so far. So I don't know about any of you, but I certainly wouldn't have been able to chop all those ingredients in a few seconds if I was doing it manually. And certainly not without tears. And I would be lying if I said I hadn't touched my eyes after cutting chili before as well. So if you ever do that, milk is the solution. So I've got my lentils here. It does ask for them to be rinsed. I actually soaked mine. I've got a couple of Indian friends.
Whoopsie, where's our Michelle? Hey, Michelle. We've lost her volume. Hi, Michelle. This is the fun part of the technicalities, everyone. So just stand by.
You can flick back to me, Amanda, if you like, for a minute while I've got a couple more steps to put on, if you like.
Okay, Liv, doing that now.
All right, okay, so back to where I was. I'm actually ready to put on the tomato paste. So that's going to go in straight into the bowl. What I'd like to show you though, and I don't have my roving camera here, I'm just going to pick this camera up. I'm going to show you how the meat's kind of all together and seared. Can you see that? Amazing. Okay, so to that tomato paste, next I'm actually going to add in, you see that? Okay, there she can. The chili, I've got this all together, the turmeric and the garam masala and some salt. and pepper. So I'm going to pop all of those spices straight away in. Salt and pepper directly into the bowl. You can see here I have, for such a long dish, it's so quick and easy to actually prepare. So the garlic paste and the ginger paste, I've already weighed out and popped into a little green bowl here, and that's going to go directly into the bowl. So then I'm popping the lid back on and letting that cook for another 8 minutes at 100 degrees on reverse, speed soft. All right, so that's going to stay for a little while, and I'm pretty much going to be cooking it for another hour while everyone else is cooking, and then I can come back to me at the end and I'll show you the end.
Okay, it looks like Michelle's back, Lib, so we'll just spotlight her. Hey, Michelle. There you go. We lost you for a little bit.
Did we lose sound?
We lost sound, but you're all good now. You're looking gorgeous. Keep going.
Thanks, girls. Well, so I'm not sure what you heard, but what I'm up to is I've just popped in my coconut milk. So, and I was saying about the fact that you can actually make your own coconut milk in your Thermomix. I do tend to buy it, but it's one of those things, if you run out, you've always got desiccated coconut, so you can jump in there with that. So the next two ingredients are turmeric, and the next one after that is the black mustard seeds. So I'm going to just pop both of those ingredients in. And then 300 grams of vegetable stock. So I've got our vegetable stock paste here. So I'm going to just pop a spoon of that in. And then I've got my 300 grams of water here. Okay, if you haven't got any vegetable stock paste on hand, really encourage you to make it. We call it our liquid gold. It's one of those things where, as Thermomix consultants, if we're running out, we get a bit of anxiety. So we always have to make another batch. Now, the beautiful thing about this dish is it cooks for 15 minutes. And then at the end of that, I just add some spinach, stir it through, and it's ready. So that's me for the dal for the moment. I'll be back to present a tandoori paste a little bit later on. And if you want me to show you the step of putting the spinach in, girls, you can come back to me. But otherwise, I will show you, ladies, the finished product. Ladies and gents.
Thank you, Mish. Thank you, Mish. I think now we're going over to Jenny. So you're all good, aren't you, Liv? Or we need to come back to you? You're good?
All good here.
Thanks. Over to Jenny.
All right. I hope you can hear me. Woo. No, you can't see me anymore.
1 second.
Hey.
There she's on.
Here I am. All right. Thanks, everyone. See, this is real life. This is happening. We haven't trained that. All right, welcome to my kitchen. You are now in Hyatt, beautiful, pretty Bayside, stunning weather, and I love it that you're still with us and not outside. I'm going to present you the kid-friendly butter chicken, which is actually from the collection Whole Food Child, and you will find the collection and the recipe obviously also on Cookie Dough. What I really love about this version of the butter chicken, it's the fastest available. So for everyone being time poor, this is your butter chicken to go. All right, so I'm going to get started with bringing up the recipe. So you've heard about the weekly meal plan. I'm going to choose the recipe from Recently Cooked. So you can access all the recipes that you liked and have a quicker access to them. All right, so I'm going to start with, well, the recipe says 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. Well, in translated into my kitchen, that would be 4 or 5. I love garlic, so feel free to use as many garlic cloves as you like. And then we have 3 centimeters pieces of fresh turmeric peeled. And these orange bits in here is not carrot, that's the turmeric. So that's how it looks like when you have them fresh. And in the next step, we're adding in some ginger. So I keep my ginger and my turmeric also in the freezer, just letting you know. If you don't have fresh ginger or turmeric, powder is also absolutely fine to use. So whatever you can get your hands on at the moment. Now, next step is a full brown onion, and I've quartered it. No more work. Let the Thermomix do the rest for you. And we're gonna add a fresh long chili, and like Michelle already said, I also keep them in the freezer. Deseed them so they're not too hot, so too much heat. And if you want to serve that also for your kids, you can leave out the chili all together. I personally, so my kids don't like it too hot, but my husband does. So I think adding chili later then to everyone's taste is absolutely fair enough. So now we're popping the lid on, and all we're doing, so this is 3 seconds only. So we're going to chop that up, and all I'm doing is flicking the dial. Voila, that was it. 3 seconds. That's a time saver right there. No matter how good your knife skills in the kitchen are, that's you can't beat that. So this is how it looks like 3 seconds later. And just being advised in my recipe to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Happy to do that. All back in. And now we are weighing in butter, 60 grams. It's a butter chicken after all. If you want to have this as a dairy-free option, absolutely, by all means, go for coconut oil instead, or any other oil that you prefer that you can have. So now comes a couple of steps where we are adding in different spices, and I've just laid them out here for you so you can see them better. So that's a teaspoon of ground cumin, ground cardamom, ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, that's the bright red color here, then 2 teaspoons of garam masala, and actually I've made that myself. So there's a beautiful recipe in the basic cookbook, and absolutely go for it, make your own spice mixes and have them always fresh when you need them. Then 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. That's the only coriander I can have. Yes, I'm one of them. Not everyone loves coriander, so I hear. And that's absolutely fine. You don't have to love it. And we're popping the lid back on, and I'm going to saute this for about 4 minutes. And I think during my 4 minutes of cooking, we are going back to Michelle's kitchen. Have a look how the dal's going.
Okay, on our way to Michelle. Thank you, Jen. I've caught in the act, Michelle. You need to unmute yourself, Michelle.
Hello. It wasn't me because I've got a 15-minute cook.
Okay, so if Jenny's good and Michelle's good, maybe we can start over to Sadhna.
But if someone else wants to start cooking.
Yeah, I think we'll keep cooking because we've got quite a few. We'll keep cooking, Michelle, because we've got a few things to get through. So, Sadhna, if you're ready, would you like us to come into your kitchen? So, spotlighting you now. Here's the gorgeous Sadhna. Hello, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. And welcome to my kitchen from sunny Toorak. So today I will be making puris in the Thermomix. I'm a relatively new user to Thermomix and technologically challenged as well. So please excuse me if you're not in focus or anything. But yeah, so the recipe for puris is on the Thermomix, and what I find that traditionally when we make puris, the dough is a little bit firmer than what the Thermomix recipe is. So I've just increased the amount of chapati flour in the recipe from 225 grams to 275 grams. Also, Mum's always made puris with a little bit of masala in it, with chili powder, turmeric, some ajwain seeds and some sesame seeds, and also some chopped coriander. So that's the recipe I'll be showing you today. And so let's get started. So I will just... You see that, Amanda?
Yeah, that's great, Sadhna. See your screen. Just, yep, maybe just a little bit to the right, darling. Just a bit more on the screen. Oh, left, your left.
Left?
Yep, that's great.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. So I've got, so what I've done is I've actually oiled the inside of the bowl so that the dough doesn't stick in it as much. And I've oiled the blades as well. And I'll just add in 275 grams of the flour. And I've got in there sesame seeds, some Kashmiri chili powder, turmeric, a little bit of salt, and some ajwain seeds.
What's ajwain, Sadhna? Is that the
Carom
Okay,
seeds.
yep. Carom seeds, yeah.
Carom seeds. I put that in, and I've just got some chopped coriander. So what I'm doing is basically taking the recipe that's on Cookie Dough and I'm adapting it to how I would cook at home as an everyday traditional method of cooking. And there's some 25 grams of ghee in that, made in the Thermomix. So I'll just
Do you love that function, Sadhna, being able to make ghee in the Thermomix?
Love that function because we use ghee so much, you know, from prayers to our food to we even put it on our skin. So what I will do is I'm just going through all those steps that it's telling you to do, and without measuring cup, what I will just put that on speed 2 for a few minutes just to give it, just to bring it all together. And
I love the way you're using your TM5 today, Sadhna. So it's fabulous for everyone online today too.
Right.
That, you know, these recipes are for all models of the Thermomix. Some will be guided. Sadhna's got her cook key on, and for the TM31 owners, of course, you can do this recipe manually as well.
So I've done that, and now I've got 150 grams of warm water, which I will just add in there. I'd measured it out previously, and then it just goes in for a couple of minutes, and I will just start that on speed 2. And what I love about this function also is that, you know, making puris and making dough and trying to really work through that gluten can be a lot of hard work, and it can be really hard on your hands. So I'll just see it coming together, and then I just put it on the dough function and on for 3 minutes, and it's as easy as that.
That's great. So are we coming back to you when that's needed, Sadhna, or have you got one ready to go now?
I will, as soon as this is done, I will actually wrap it up in the Thermomat and let it rest. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Okay, so thank you,
We can
Sadhna.
come back to me, and I can.
Okay, Jenny, over to you. Here
Thank you. All right, so we've sauteed now the onions and the paste. Hang on. I've lost myself. Here we are.
Awesome.
Okay, we sauteed the onion and the beautiful spices, and my kitchen's already smelling really good, really fresh and fragrant. So now we're adding in 150 grams of cherry tomatoes cut in halves. That's all we need. If you don't have cherry tomatoes, normal tomatoes will also do. And obviously, if you don't have fresh tomatoes, even tomatoes diced in a can are fine to use. So whatever's in your pantry, right? We don't want to waste any ingredients before we buy a new one. Now I'm adding 100 grams of tomato paste. You can make your own tomato paste in the Thermomix if you can get your hands on a beautiful set of tomatoes. And now the recipe calls for a kilo of chicken thigh. Chicken thigh is not so much our favorite in this household. I know not everyone loves chicken thigh. So I've used chicken fillet and just cut the pieces a little bit bigger. So this way they won't shred, and it works perfectly fine. I do this all the time with chicken breast. Now, in the recipe, it says a tablespoon of lime juice. You could also use lemon juice if you like. I'm a big lover of the Skinny Mixes butter chicken recipe, and we need some acid in the recipe. So I prefer actually apple cider vinegar. So again, to taste, that's completely up to you. And because I'm going to eat that, I'm going to make it a little bit my own. And I'm using apple cider vinegar. And now this cooks for 17 minutes. And I'll see you later once this is finished.
Fantastic, Jenny.
Now back to,
over to Sadhna.
Sadhna? Yeah,
yep.
Perfect.
Here we go. Thank you. You're on, Sadhna. So we can see your mat. You've got your puri dough there ready to go.
See my mat. So this is, I've just got another 10 seconds to go with the dough being prepared. So once that's done, I've just roll it up in the Thermomix and let it rest for a little while. But I might just even leave it in the mixing bowl.
Thermomix. Sure.
So what you do, and you'll find that this dough for the puris is for the puris is quite smooth, and it doesn't need any extra flour to roll it out. So you just roll it out into a really big long roll like that, and then you just break it into almost like, yeah, golf ball size pieces. And you can, the good thing about this is that it can be pre-done, and you can just have a stash of puris in your freezer and ready to just defrost for a couple of, you know, like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and you can just fry them and they puff up and they'll be just fresh. And the other trick too is to just oil your rolling pin, roll it out into balls and then just flatten them slightly, like so, and then you just roll it out. So I pre-prepare a lot of these and just put them between baking paper or freeze-proof paper, and they only need to be probably, yeah, about like so that sort of size, and you just lay it out like that on some freezer paper, and you can just stick that in your freezer. But fine.
So did you say, Sadhna, you would first shape them, or you just freeze the dough ball and then come back to them later for the shaping?
I roll it out and then I freeze it, because then all you've got to do is just defrost it, and then you've just got to fry it. So it's just rolled out prior. Like, I do this once a fortnight at least, and just have them sitting in my freezer, and the quantity that it makes from the cookie dough recipe is just a great one. It makes about 16, and that's like a great number for, you know, 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 times.
I've just remembered I've got some of your dough in my freezer as we speak.
You defrost it, Amanda, for like, you know, maybe 15 seconds, and then you can just fry it, or you can leave it on your bench top, and then you'll be able to just fry it fresh. And the trick to frying it is to remember that your oil's got to be hot enough so that it doesn't soak a lot of oil, and just have it slightly, not too thick, not too thin with the puris, but it's probably like a couple of mil, or maybe like a mil thick.
So, we can all see that very clearly. They look perfect.
Yeah, so that's me done for this step, and then I'll show you frying soon.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I think at this point, Michelle, you're good. Thumbs up. Jenny, you're good. Looks like we're going over to Mandy. So just let me locate our Mandy.
You're doing that, Amanda. Can I ask Sadhna a question there? What frying oil do you use, Sadhna?
I'm sorry?
What frying oil do you use?
Just a canola oil.
Canola oil. And can you do this in the air fryer, do you think?
I haven't tried it in the air fryer. It'd be interesting to see how it turns out, but I'm sure you can, because you can do samosas and stuff. So if you can do pastry, there's no reason why you can't do this in the air fryer.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you, Amanda. So I'm in sunny Hughesdale, very close to a very, very, very quiet Chadstone shopping centre, which is bliss. So I'm going to show you the spiced cauliflower pilau, and the reason that I've sort of suggested this recipe is because I know there's a lot of people out there wanting to sort of go low carb. So I'll get starting and then I can talk to you a bit more about this. I'm just going to head down to the screen and my Thermomix and you can see how we go. So I've saved the recipe in my week. Just need to pull it up there. Start cooking. So I've got in here, this little container here, I have 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 2 green cardamom pods, like this, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, and 2 whole cloves. So all of those are going in. 1 fresh bay leaf. Lid going on. Now it's going to cook for 3 minutes on Varoma temperature. All I've got to do is turn to speed 1. So one of the things I just wanted to mention is when you are dry roasting your spices, it's really important to have a really dry bowl. That also applies for if you're going to make a nut meal or something like that. So does anybody know the way that you can get a really dry bowl? Obviously you wash it, you dry it first. What else can you do to make sure it's super dry? My customers on there should know. Sue Kalman, I've seen you on there. So yeah, beautiful. Okay, so yes, absolutely turbo. So you dry it as much as you can, then you go to the turbo function, turbo it, and you'll find that any water that's actually around the blades will get flicked off to the side of the bowl and you can dry that out. So you get a super dry bowl, which is a really useful tip for if you've gone from making something and you need to start for, you know, as I said, almond meal or the dry roasting of your spices. The other thing I just wanted to mention too was we're talking about low carbs. So cauliflower rice has 5.7 grams of carbs in it. This recipe, which is on Cookie Do. A coconut rice has 80 grams of carbs, and there are actually 3 different normal rice, pilau rice recipes on Cookie Do, and they vary between 20-something grams to 60-something grams. So I've put down an average of 40 grams. So by doing cauliflower, you're obviously going to cut down on your carbs. And I know that a lot of us sort of feeling that we might have the odd COVID kilo on, and it's a good option. So I've still got a minute and a half here on here. So I'll just show you, I know Libby's shown you a couple of things from the mix shop. But the other thing that I am really passionate about, like I know there's some other consultants, Moira in particular, is about the environment. And there are some great things on the mix shop which you can certainly purchase. Things like these reusable produce bags. So instead of using a plastic bag at the supermarket or your fruit and veggie shop, just get you can get these on the mix shop, and they're just like a really fine bag, and put your things in there rather than using plastic, please. The other options, of course, are we have these Thermomix, the fold-up Thermomix shopping bags, which are fantastic, and also these really nice silicone Ziploc bags. So you can actually use this and store soup and things in your freezer. So this has got, just need to pull it off this way, it's a bit tough. So there you go. You can actually, it's actually got measurements on it as well, and you just pop this little number back on and it's reusable rather than having to buy plastic. So just a few little really good environmental things that you can get from the mix shop. 5 seconds to go, so I'll go back to my screen. Okay, so the next stage is a whole lot of other spices. So I've got my turmeric in there. You can obviously see it's very orange. I've got my ground cinnamon there as well. Then it says garlic paste and ginger paste. So you can absolutely make garlic paste and ginger paste in your Thermomix. However, I just figure, anything for an easy life. And normally I would, if it asked in a curry recipe to add in a garlic, some garlic paste or some ginger paste, I would just put in the same amount of fresh ginger and fresh garlic. This one, I know it's not going to chop. I've just got to actually add this in with the spice and it's going to cook. So I did chop it first rather than leaving it whole. But that would be one of the tips I would say is don't bother making those things. You need to be particularly careful with chopped garlic too. So better to do it fresh than have it sitting around. So all those things are going in. And I've got a minute now of more roasting in there. And another quick little tip whilst we're, oh, hang on. Sorry, no, I'm not. It's blending. I needn't have done that.
Do you want to come to me for a minute while that's blending?
Sure.
Yep, sure, Michelle. We can just spotlighting you now.
Beautiful. Hey, so my dal is finished. It's so quick. It's one of those things you pop on and you go and do, well, you make yourself a peanut butter sandwich and get sprung and your dal's ready. So the next step for the dal was actually just to add the spinach and stir it through. So what I've done is I've actually added the spinach to my thermoserver and I'm actually just going to pour the dal on top of the spinach. So I figured that was easier than adding it to the bowl. So if I can show you this, the colour of this is so beautiful. I'm actually going to tilt it over the bowl so I don't tip it on my laptop. But you can see the beautiful colour in there and the spices smell really beautiful. And with the mustard seeds through it, it's actually got a really lovely sort of texture and colour to it as well. So I'm just popping that in there. Now the thermoserver, for those of you who don't have a thermoserver yet, the way you can get a thermoserver is by hosting your own cooking experience. So today we're doing obviously this big group experience and we love doing these for you. But a lot of our messages today are quite general. So if you'd like something specific to you, please speak to your consultant because we all love to show people things that are really relevant to them. So I'm going to pop the lid on that thermoserver. The thermoserver is going to keep that hot for the next couple of hours. So, and it will keep food hot or cold for a couple of hours. So we do have a range of sizes of our thermoserver options as host rewards, which you can access at a heavily discounted price for hosting or free if you introduce a customer to our business. So thank you for, that's sort of from me, if we're ready to go back to Mandy with her spices there.
Thank you, Michelle. You're a wealth of information. Coming back to you, Mandy.
Thank you. So I just want to show you the beautiful colours. Hang on in a minute. There we go. Beautiful colours, all those spices. I did obviously not read the recipe correctly. It was all blitzed up then. So I could have left my garlic and my ginger whole. So that's a really good tip. Anyway, moving on to that. Now I have to add 1 teaspoon of vegetable stock. And as someone mentioned before, always got to have veggie stock in the fridge. What I love about it is it can be a different colour every time you make it. It's a really good way to use up those vegetables in your fridge, which you'd otherwise be throwing out, or your scraps when you're peeling your veggies. Just save them all, or the leaves of the celery, all those sorts of things, and pop them in the freezer. Defrost them before you make your stock, and just use them to make stock. So I know this is going to cook for a minute, so if you want to flick off somewhere else and come back, that's absolutely fine. Oops.
Okay, so we might, Sadie, are you ready for a little bit of frying of a puri?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm just spotlighting you now. Over to you.
Okay, so I just thought I'd show you what I've done. So the dough was ready, and that's basically the dough. And then all I do is I just wrap it in the Thermomat, and I just let it rest in the Thermomat. So it's an unleavened bread, so it doesn't need to rise, and it's a fried bread. So most restaurants, if you go to Indian restaurants, you get naans and you get rotis and parathas, but puris are just another Indian bread, but they're actually deep fried. And the flour that I use is B5 and you find them at Indian grocers. If you're looking for anything to be delivered, Tales of India is who I use, and they're online, and you can just order online and they do free delivery around Melbourne. Now, the other thing that I did was I rolled up my puris and I've just put them in freezer-proof paper, like lined between each puri like that, and then I will just put them in packs of 6 or 8, however many I need, and I will put them in a Ziploc bag and I will just freeze it. So that's all done. And I'm ready to fry, Amanda. Can you
Yep, sure.
see that? Now, the way to test that your oil is hot enough is you just take a small piece of dough like that and you put it in, and you can see that it's rising pretty much straight away. So it should be ready to fry. And the other thing I'd like to mention too is these, I've just measured them. They're about 9.5 centimeters in diameter or across. So, and all you do is you just slowly put them in there. And the trick to making it rise is just work away, twirl it, and just keep twirling it in the oil very gently. And you should see the puris rising.
Puff up.
Yeah, they'll puff up.
There it goes.
And there it goes. Yeah. So it's very quick, very easy. And like I said, if you have it in your freezer, it just makes such light work.
They just look so perfect, Sadhna.
Yeah. Then I'll just do another one, and then I'll just drain it on paper towels. And again,
that's great. You just do one at a time?
Yeah, it's just easier for me to manipulate. I mean, like when they do weddings and festivals and they're cooking in bulk, you'll find that they're so quick. And here on the streets of India, they're so quick, they put more than one at a time. But I find one at a time a lot more manageable for me.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So will you cook up some of those, Sadhna, and we might be just jumping back to Mandy. Ready for us, Mandy?
Yep, I am. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. We'll be back to you soon, Sadhna.
No worries.
Right. Okay, so now I was just cooking all that mixture. Then we've got to add 350 grams of cauliflower cut into florets. Remembering always really important when you take the lid off to tear your scales. So I should show you. It's just like a looks a bit like a stock in there now. And I'm just going to add the cauliflower into that.
This is great. We see lots of these cauliflower bags in the supermarkets, and I always look at them and think, oh my goodness, why would people buy, chopped up cauliflower? It's just how you think as a Thermomix owner, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So 5 seconds, speed 5, and it's on reverse.
That's a great tip too, Mandy, on reverse. It just is a better texture for the cauliflower rice rather than using the forward blades.
All right, so it's asked me to put it into my baroma. There it is. That's the first lot. Because I'm going to add, do another 350 grams. So, as Amanda was saying, it's just so good to be able to make this yourself. And I've never actually made the pilau version before, but often I choose cauliflower rice over normal rice any day. But it's just so easy to make. And you can either just steam it like this, as we're going to in the baroma, or let me just put the other, or you could, if you want to, just put some coconut oil in a pan and just stir it through there and just heat it through. Okay. Another 5 seconds.
So someone made a comment, it's great to, you can use broccoli for a broccoli rice as well.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. It's too noisy at my end.
No, we were just giving suggestions for using broccoli as well to do a broccoli rice.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do broccoli and carrot as well. It's another one. Okay, so the rest of it's going in to my baroma. Scrape this down the sides. Get as much out. Remembering, the best way to scrape out your bowl is always to push as much as you can down to the bottom and then go round in a clockwise direction. That means that when your spatula is hitting the blades, it's hitting the rounded side, not the sharp side of the blades, which is much better for your spatula. All right, so the next thing you've got to do is put 1 teaspoon of salt into the bowl. 500 grams of water. Now, another little hack, we all love a bit of time saving, is use boiling water. It takes, you know, it can take sort of 8 minutes or so for the water to boil if you put cold in your Thermomix. So I tend to often speed things up by boiling the water. Need to keep a bit of an eye on the, obviously on the cooking, but I know halfway through this, I just have to stop and stir the cauliflower anyway. If I feel like it's done enough, I can just stop it then.
Okay, that's awesome.
So there we go. Oh, need to put the lid on first before I can put the varoma on. Put the varoma in position. Don't you love it? It tells you every step. Don't forget to put the lid on the varoma.
So that's just going to steam now. That's fantastic. Okay. Yep. We'll come back to you shortly.
Absolutely.
Looks like Jenny's ready for us over to showcase her kid-friendly butter chicken. Over to you, Jan.
Thanks very much. Yes, so I'm actually ready, and I have also sneaked in a cauli rice, and I have steamed that on top whilst the chicken was cooking underneath. So if you are into cauli rice, in this recipe, it's not part of the recipe, but you can sneak in any extra vegetables all the time. So I make a cauli rice here. Here, I can skip that a little bit. In the next step, I was also asked to add in the spinach, and I was planning on showing you that I'm not going to do this. So same like Michelle, I'm going to put my spinach in the thermoserver and not through here, and let that wilt. So now it wants me to season that with a little bit of salt, doing that and adding some pouring or whipping cream to it. Again, if you're dairy free, use coconut cream. That's absolutely fine. Works as well, and probably tastes really good as well. And here we go next. Now comes the fresh coriander. We're going to skip that step in this house. Sorry.
I'll never understand how people don't like coriander, Jenny.
Yeah, that's just me. So that's just got to stir for another 30 seconds, and then we're ready to serve up. But what I wanted to show you, I've also made some brown rice in an extra bowl, because the butter chicken very often is served with rice. And I want to show you a trick. So this is the TM6 simmering basket, right? And you see the difference here to a TM5 or 31 one, it has a lid. So still we're using our spatula with that little hook here on the end, going straight in to take it out. But what I would suggest, because this one has a lid, you open up the lid first, and then you hook it up. So this way, you can take the rice out, and when you pour the rice into your thermoserver, you can see you can never have enough thermoservers, and you tilt it or you turn it around, then the lid doesn't flip over.
That's a great tip, Jenny. Love that one.
Good is that. Here we go. Yes, so now I'm going to plate that up and show you the end result then later. All right, back to you,
fantastic.
Amanda.
Thank you, Jenny.
Who's next?
I think we're going over to Kay. Kay, you ready to show us your masala chai? So just let me spotlight you. Here we go over to Kay. Hello. In Blackburn. Hi, yes. Kay. Looking very, I must say, I'm loving your costume.
Oh, thank you. This is from India when I was there about 12 years ago. So, and it still fits, which was good. So I'm doing the masala chai, which is beautiful. And I remember them walking down the train selling chai and getting the little cup. So yes, really love chai. This makes quite a lot as well. So you can have the recipe or reduce it. And you can also like keep it in the fridge and warm it up later. So I'll just bring this closer. And this one is on cookie dough as well. I'll just show you there. I'll put it under my week.
Just putting the link in the chat box, everyone, too, Kay.
Thanks, Amanda. Also, there is a chai powder recipe on Cookie Dough, so there's a few different variations. So this one, then I go start cooking. This is my stylus pen from the mix shop, which I love. It's very new. So I've got 4 cardamom pods and 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds and 2 to 3 whole cloves. Chuck that in. And 10 to speed 6, 10 seconds. Okay, let's go next. 700 grams of water. So you can see that's melted up in there, and it will continue to do so. It's really, it smells beautiful. You can smell that cardamom, and it's just really released all those flavors. 700 grams of water. This has got lots of health benefits as well, really warming. And much cheaper than buying it from a cafe. Okay. And 500 grams of full cream milk. You could also use soy milk or other variations. Yeah. And 1 tablespoon of black tea leaves. Put that in. 2 centimeters of cinnamon quill. So I've just broken that off there because we are going to strain it. 20 to 60 grams of white sugar. I've got about 20 grams, and you can leave it out as well. And half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Yum. Pop the lid on. And then it's just going to cook for 10 minutes, 90 degrees. And then I'll come back and show you straining it. So it's pretty quick and easy, and spices that you can have in your cupboard. I've just got like an Indian spice tin as well that I keep up in the cupboard with all my Indian spices and use in my curries and things as well. All right, great.
Those tins, thank you, Kay. So I'm just checking now. Would you like us back with you, Mandy, or are we ready to go to Teresa? I think we might be ready to go to Teresa. Oh no, Mandy's saying. Mandy's
no, all good, all good.
Oh, all good. Okay,
yep.
No worries. So we are going to meet Teresa. Teresa, what are you making for us today? Looks like we've got that beautiful dessert. Oh, this is a winner, everyone.
Yes. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Box Hill North into my kitchen. Yes, we're making hopefully I pronounce it right, Rava Paisam. Is that how you pronounce it?
Paisam.
Paisam, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really honest, I've never made this, so I'm actually quite excited to make it. I have made a lot of the Indian dishes and absolutely love the Indian cookbook. Just a little tip before I get started. So with the Indian cooking, we do use a lot of turmeric, and it may stain the lid of your bowl or lid. Direct sunlight will actually get rid of all of that the turmeric stain, so don't be afraid to use turmeric. Like Kay said, there's lots of health benefits there as well. So just a little tip. All right, so with this dish I have completed the first 2 steps. So the flaked almonds, I just did them on the pan this morning, and we've got our sultana, so that's for a bit of garnishing, I think, or decoration at the end. All right, so okay. So we've got a tablespoon of ghee. That's probably more than a tablespoon there. And again, made in the Thermomix. It was actually the first time I made it last week, so nice and easy. And our lid on. And so this is going to, so for 1 minute at 100 degrees on speed 2. So just a couple of ingredients. That was probably some rose water. So this is one that I've chosen. If you can buy this from a deli, or I just got this from the local grocer yesterday, and just the flavors is absolutely beautiful. It's actually nice with a drop in some water as well. We use this a lot in Middle East cooking, more so desserts. it is quite overpowering, so you need to really be careful on how much you put in, because I don't mind it in small doses, but I find it, like I said, can be quite overpowering, and I just feel like I've got that perfume smell, but it is absolutely beautiful. So there is a couple of different, this was a little bit more expensive, a bit more of a gourmet one, but you can buy it like down the road in the Middle East shop, and it's a couple of dollars cheaper. They're all pretty much but I think what attracted me was the bottle as well. All right, so pretty much our next step, 70 grams of semolina. Now I will follow the recipe. Generally, I do substitute so I don't have any gluten, and I would possibly try it with corn flour, but definitely not 70 grams, so maybe about that 30 grams. So it's just something that I need to play around with it, but for the sake of following the recipe, we will, follow that. So 70 grams.
You can also use very fine angel hair pasta or vermicelli noodles as well.
Okay, but in terms of a gluten-free option, gluten-free would be okay. Definitely reduce the amount.
If you use gluten-free angel hair pasta or vermicelli.
Okay, would that be better than than corn flour?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be a bit more authentic as well.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the tip. Yep. All right, so now our lid on. So that was 70 grams of semolina and 40 seconds on speed 2. So that's just really giving it a really a lovely gentle stir, and just binding that with the ghee in there. In terms of mix shop items, I think you've gone, I haven't received a box, so there's always something, being a consultant, there's always something being delivered in terms of incentives. And I think we've gone through a few of them. I think my favourite is the cake pen. It's always been used. Love it. So yesterday morning, my kids got some crepes for breakfast. So I got up early before homeschooling started, and I just made the mixture, popped it into my cake pan in the fridge for half an hour, and then just before they were ready to eat, I just squeezed it into it. So this is really good even for traveling, if you're camping, making your mixture before you go. Definitely a hit in our family. All right, so now we're going to add let's grab the milk out of the fridge. So 500 grams of milk. I'm not sure, would you be able to use light milk?
Yes, or carnation milk as well.
Oh, carnation milk, perfect.
Carnation milk. You can also use coconut milk.
Okay, so lots of different variations.
Yeah.
So now this is going to cook for 7 minutes at 90 degrees. So that's it for me while that's cooking. I'm not sure who we're going back over to, Jenny, or...
I think we're coming to me for the tandoori paste. Unless anyone else has a step they need to squeeze in.
Okay, Michelle, we are coming over to you. Stand by.
Hi, welcome back to East Bentley. Hey, so I'm going to make the tandoori paste now, and the thing that I love about this recipe is, as I mentioned before, the first time I looked at some of these recipes, they were quite daunting because there's so many ingredients. So I've actually got them all here. And I actually I should have mentioned to you before that after I went off camera, I used the new pre-clean mode in my TM6 to wash my bowl from my dal. So I've got my ingredients here. Now, again, I've just got it in my week, so I'm going to jump in there. And I've got them all separate, because the thing about this recipe is it's actually really simple. It's throw everything in, blitz it up. So we love the simplicity. Do you love that I took my lid off then and my measuring cup didn't fall out? If you do have a TM5, the TM6 MC is compatible with your TM5, and they are available on the mix shop. So I've got here my coriander seeds. I'm just going to angle my camera down a little bit. Coriander seeds, in they go. 1.5 tablespoons of cumin seeds. In we go. My cardamom pods. So these, I actually only had green cardamom pods before I'd made this before. So these black ones are, they've got quite a husky shell. So, and I just want to point that out more just because when you see the paste at the end, it'll be hard to believe that it's grounded up so fine. And also in there, I've got cloves. So the next ingredient is 10 whole cloves. So I've just popped all those in together. So now I've got the Kashmiri chili powder. Now, if you don't have Kashmiri, don't make the mistake of using regular chili powder. Your Kashmiri is a much milder flavour than a hot chili. So if you didn't have Kashmiri and you can get hold of it, perhaps a paprika might be a better substitute, or Sadhana may be able to suggest something other than that as well. Or reduce the amount if you're using the regular chili powder.
You can substitute a little bit with paprika as well.
Paprika, yeah, beautiful. And turmeric, don't you love, the thing I love about this is all the colours. It's like I've got this tray of rainbow colours that I'm putting into my food. And I love that saying. So next is the cinnamon, you know, eat the rainbow. I always feel good. I think it's not just, it makes you feel good from a health perspective, but you know, rainbows make people happy. So I think it just makes us happy. Just a tablespoon of salt there. You can use any salt you have in your pantry. So now I've got 60 grams of brown sugar. Now I know I've got a lot of keto people in here. What do you guys use instead of the sugar there? Anyone? Anyone? I think you can use any substitute for that.
I don't use sugar at all.
Oh, you leave it out completely. Well, there
I
you
don't use sugar.
So I've just got some tomato paste there, 120 grams of tomato paste. In it goes. So the beauty of these recipes, if you are someone who likes to follow things exactly, you can follow that. But as you've seen today, we've made adjustments along the way. So they're called guided recipes, not controlled. You're still in control. So you can skip steps, add in different ingredients, substitute things, etc. Now, a bit like Mandy was saying before, this actually calls for garlic paste. I just have got whole garlic cloves here. So this is basically going to mince it up and turn it into a garlic paste. So why add that extra step myself? And then same with the ginger. And I've just very roughly peeled that with the back of the knife there. So in the ginger goes. And then the very last ingredient is just a couple of 100 grams of olive oil. So I'm just going to pour that in the top there. Here's some I prepared earlier. Beautiful. And this recipe, blink and you miss it, it is pop the lid on, 20 seconds at speed 9. So I'll see you in 20 seconds.
I hope you're doing a thermo dance there, Michelle. And Kay, you're ready for us next? Is your chai ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready to show the straining part.
Okay, let's come over to you for a bit.
Cool.
So over to Kay for a second.
It's ready. Oh, okay.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, so that's finished cooking in there, and I'm just going to strain it. So I've got a nut milk bag, which is from the mix shop, and just over the basket. Otherwise, sometimes I put it in the teapot, which has got a strainer, but it won't all fit in there. So I'll do it both ways, and then actually I'll just get a bigger bowl. It's small. So you just pop it there, and it's just going to strain the spices out. And super easy. And then beautiful chai, which I will put into a cup to show you as well. It just smells divine. And a beautiful big bowl full, which I'll put into the jug and a cup. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Are you sipping on that cup of chai, Kay? So back to Michelle quickly. I know she said she was ready to go with her tandoori paste.
Yes, hello.
Like we said, blink and you miss it.
Yes, exactly. So I've finished that. It literally is 20 seconds of blitzing. And I've got here a jar, as you can see, and I'm actually using my jam funnel. So my jam funnel actually hasn't had much experience with jam, but it does get used a lot for a lot of other things. So I just want to pour this in just so you can see both the volume and the colour. So this tandoori paste is used in a few of our curries, but then it's really beautiful mixed with, say, yogurt. You can coat some chicken or roast vegetables, so pumpkin, sweet potato, coat them in the yogurt and the tandoori paste and just pop them in the oven and roast them. And you just get some really beautiful flavours. My other little tip for those who like a butter chicken, the one that's in our basic cookbook, we know is very basic. So my little hack with that is to just pop about 100 grams of this tandoori paste in with that recipe, and it turns it from okay to amazing. So you can see there that's made quite a big volume, and to store that in the fridge, you've got a couple of options. To store it in the fridge, pop some oil over the top, and then that'll keep the top from, you know, because obviously there's no preservatives when you make it yourself. The other thing that I actually often do is put it in little containers in sort of 100-gram lots, because most recipes use 80, 90, 100 grams, and it doesn't actually matter which one you have. So usually divide it between about 7 containers, and there's about 90 grams in each one, and I can pop them in the freezer and then just pull one out when I need it as well. So
that's fantastic, Michelle. Yep. I love that tip.
Gold. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Now it looks like, yes.
Can I just quickly butt in? If you're making tandoori chicken, I always try and make extra. So if you've got leftover tandoori chicken, you can use that in your butter chicken.
Great.
Yeah,
tip.
yum.
Yum.
I'd love it too on pizza. So there's nothing like a nice, you know, mixing cultures, pizza with the Indian tandoori. Awesome. Teresa, you ready for us?
Perfect timing. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to add. Can we see my screen? Oh, that's better. Sorry, probably didn't do that before. Okay, so now we're going to add 340 grams of condensed milk. Which is probably going to be most of the can. Okay, 340. And some pouring cream. Sorry, I've just kept. I need to keep it in the fridge because I've got a bit of sun coming through. Who would have thought we've got some sun? So I'm not a weigher, I'm just a pourer. So that's probably about 2 tablespoons. 2 egg yolks. And now we're going to continue cooking for 4 minutes. So I think we're over to you, Amanda.
Oh, I'm on. I'm going to ask Jenny now to take over the controls and spotlight my Thermo kitchen. Amanda, so hi everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Hang on. I
awesome.
just need to find you. Okay.
See, it's a little tricky. So hi everyone. Multi-skilling today on the controls and also in the kitchen making yogurt. Now, I won't be making a full recipe of yogurt today because that actually takes 8 hours. So anyone who's using their TM5 or 6, even the 31 owners, awesome recipe. I would make this probably once a fortnight. This is actually the tail end of my yogurt as we speak, but this last bit of yogurt here was what we used as our starter for the next yogurt. So basically I use, the recipe I use is on screen here. It's the just natural yogurt, and we use the fermenting mode on the TM6, but if you've got the 5, you've got the automated yogurt setting, so you can use that as well. And anyone with the TM31, you would be using your thermo server. So that's, you know, essentially the way you ferment yogurt with a TM31. So you just need some basic ingredients. You need about 1.8 litres of milk. You can use fresh milk. I love using UHT milk because it's already been heat tested to the temperature. So I find it works every time. I have customers that ask me a lot about yogurt, and as soon as I sort of give them this tip, you know, no foul yogurt. So UHT milk is what you need. You also need, the recipe does say milk powder. I do use 100 grams of milk powder. It does give your yogurt a really nice thick consistency. So that's the other ingredient that you need. You also need a little bit of sugar. I think it's about 50 to 80 grams of sugar. I've tried it both ways. I just like, you know, about 50 grams is what works for us. And then once it's all cooked through, really the yogurt just ferments in your Thermomix, as I said, for about 8 hours. Now, I would normally put this on in the morning so that sort of, you know, by the 5, 6 o'clock part of the day, it beeps at me, lets me know that it's ready. And then my tip is to put it straight into the fridge so that it actually chills and it really does thicken in the Thermomix bowl as well. So I've got one in here that I prepared earlier. Love that. Feel like a TV chef. And as you can see, I'm just going, this is like the best ever, but this is my bowl of yogurt, and have a look. The first scrape that you pull through, can you just see how thick and creamy that is? Give me some love, some thumbs up there. I know. And it's just, you know, it really is incredible. So the thing is that if you just hold back 130 grams, so I'd normally put 130 grams of that yogurt into a container. You can put it in the fridge or even freeze it if you're not making it as regularly as what we are. But really, this is the basis of a lot of recipes. So what I normally do then is I've just got another container, so I'll refill it. But same thing, into a glass jar. Now, lots of other great tips is you can flavour the yogurt up. So sometimes I might divide that batch into two. You could put things like vanilla through there. We've got also beautiful honey, nutmeg and cinnamon, that sort of thing. But, you know, also I would have that every morning with my muesli or my kate or something like that. And another two recipes that we make a lot of is yogurt chicken. So have a look at that recipe on Cookie Do, yogurt chicken, beautiful. So use that marinade. You can mix it with the tandoori paste like Michelle said. And another great recipe, there's a beautiful yogurt cake, which I would do with pistachios and put some rose petal leaves on at the end. And, you know, I think you can all, you know, even just maybe smell that cake as you're having a look. So that's it, lovely thick yogurt. Reach out to myself or your consultant. You know, we've got some great tips on that, but that's my basic recipe. I'll pour it into the jar. I know we're sort of time poor. So back to you, Jenny, and I think we might be going over to Libby. Thank you.
I think actually we have Teresa next on the list. Teresa, are you ready?
Yes, I am. It's just, can you hear me? Yep.
Yes, I can. Oh, I hope we all can.
That's all right. All right, so pretty much just the last two ingredients. So a quarter of a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of rose water. And I think that's going to cook for another 2 minutes, I think, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds, so I'm not sure if you want to come back to me plating up, if we're going to someone else now.
Yep, we can. So basically now we're almost through and we can go back to Libby, who probably wants to show us a little bit more. Hang on. And here you are, Libby.
Hello, I've been loving watching all of these dishes coming alive. I would like to show you, because I've just finished plating up the Buna Ghost. So thank you for someone giving, I think it was Milan who gave the proper pronunciation, so thank you. But have a little look at my dish here. It's beautiful. Oh, hang on, can you see that? Libby, it's
it looks exactly like in the photo.
So there you go, that's the Buna, and it was done, actually the cooking time was 40 minutes and I didn't need to cook it any longer. The lamb is beautiful and tender. The flavour is delicious. It's not too spicy at all. It's just got that beautiful warming spice to it. And I've still got probably another 4 serves in the thermo server over there. So certainly enough for a family, you know, of 5 even.
All right, wonderful. Since we started doing the rounds, I'll go next. I got the controls, so I can spotlight what I want. So I have plated up my kid-friendly butter chicken with 2 different... someone else is talking, hang on. Okay.
You've got the main camera there, Michelle. Yep. Go, Jenny, that's all good. Yep, you're good.
I'm still going. Okay, so I've got my brown rice sitting over here. I've got my cauli rice in here. So I made a 2-in-1, so to speak. And as you can see, the baby spinach has beautifully wilted. And that's my cheat, coriander, which is parsley. But looks almost the same, doesn't it? So yeah, I've got a whole bowl full of my butter chicken here left. And together with the rice, that easily feeds a family of 4. And it's not too spicy. It's very mild. And but you know, everyone who wants a little bit more heat can add that afterwards. Okay, I think we are heading over to Michelle's kitchen, who is going to show us her plating. There you are.
Hi. Okay.
1 second. I think I muted you. Stop. Don't do anything.
I
Talk.
wish you had a mute
Yes.
button for me in real life. So what I've got here is I've actually popped some in a bowl. Now I've stirred the spinach through. Now I'm going to tilt it down. And I've got a fresh bunch of coriander here, and I'm not an anti-coriander chick, so I'm actually going to be a bit sort of generous and pop that on the top as well. I have put a bit of yogurt on there, and I also do make my own. I follow the Greek yogurt with honeyed walnuts recipe, but I actually haven't done the honeyed walnuts yet. So that's a bit of irony, but I do like it. It is a sugar-free one, so anyone who's looking for a sugar-free yogurt. And these are the little containers I was saying that I pop in the freezer. So they are plastic, but I do reuse them. So I just got them at the local $2 shop, but that holds the perfect amount to go in any sort of curry or in our masala chai or any of those dishes as well. Now, I would like to do a live taste test.
We love live tests.
I know, right? Hang on, I'm going to put that camera up there.
Oh my God, don't tell me. I know, it tastes fantastic.
Amazing. I tell you, and I didn't take the seeds out, so it's got a real kick as well. Wow, well, I'm going to actually just keep enjoying this. This is a really great, really simple dish to add to your weekly meal. I know a lot of my customers too have been saying that they want to eat more plant-based diets at home as well. So to be able to add a dish like this to your weekly menu, it's a massive cost saving, massive flavour, and super easy. So it ticks a lot of boxes. Also, I'm using the pre-clean mode to clean my bowl from my tandoori paste as well. But I did use the turbo first to make sure I had all the tandoori paste off the blade so I didn't waste any. So that's my tip.
Very good.
My other tip at the end of the pre-clean is give it a turbo as well, because it'll rinse out the lid. There you go.
All right, thank you so much, Michelle. I think we're heading over to Mandy's kitchen now, who wants to show us her pilaf.
Yeah. Here's our pilau rice, our cauliflower pilau. So I would suggest when you're making this that you do use boiling water, because I think it's perfectly cooked with just following the recipe, but changing it from cold water to boiling water when you're cooking. But I do like coriander, and so we're having that tonight with a butter chicken, and I'm going to do that coconut dal because it's just so delicious. So
sounds like Uber Eats there, Mandy. Sounds like you've got Uber Eats.
Oh yeah, yes, home cooked Uber Eats.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Very
Thank you
nice.
very much.
I think we're heading over back to Kay's kitchen, who wants to show us the tea.
Hello, yes. So it's made, I've already had a bit of it. It's delicious, but it's made quite a lot, and it's, yeah, the taste is amazing. I'll have a little taste. Yeah, it's really warming and just delicious flavors. So I hope you're inspired to make that. And it sounds like there's a few other chai recipes on Cookie-Doo as well. So plenty there for everyone. And thanks, Sadhna, for your tips on the variations to the spices as well. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kay.
Very
and
good.
Speaking of Sadhna, I think we might be going back to Sadhna to see all of her puris that have been cooked up.
Okay, so that's my puris.
Wow.
All done.
Wow.
And
Yes.
Wow.
what I did earlier was I made some bhuna gosht, but what I did was I added some spinach to it, and then I had some yogurt in the fridge that I'd made in the TM5 with the automated recipe, and I've just made a raita, and I've added some pomegranates in it and got my favorite coriander.
Oh my goodness, that looks incredible. Sadhna, you're in my 5K radius. I could easily be knocking on your door soon.
Absolutely. Love to see you, Amanda.
That's okay. Thank you, Sadhna, and thank you for your lovely tips today. It was really nice to have some authenticity to our Indian class. So once again, thank you.
My pleasure.
Lovely. And is Teresa, you ready? Is your rava ready to show us?
I am ready.
Thank you.
Okay, so here, yep, okay, so I've just plated mine up on a tray. present it in any way. So I've just sprinkled some sultanas and some toasted almonds and a drizzle and some a sprinkle of nutmeg. They've got to go into the fridge for about half an hour to set. I did have a little taste. It has got semolina, so I didn't want too much. I will probably add a little bit more rose water. Can't really taste it. But yes, definitely a sweet dish. With the remainder, I've popped into our mini thermo server, and I won't tip that too much because it's about to fall out. So this is also, the mini comes in handy for dishes like this. It is part of our host rewards. So yeah, absolutely love it. So that's all going to go into the fridge, and I'm sure my family will be happy. They have dessert tonight. They might not have a meal, but they've got dessert.
Yeah, the condensed milk in that recipe just gives it that lovely, you know, Indian touch as well. Fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Teresa. So I think at this point, all our consultants have, or all our team leaders have showed you their beautiful recipes, and it looks like we might be coming back to where we began. So hi, Libby, over to you.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to be pretty confident that, well, you can hear me, I guess. Pretty confident that you've all enjoyed the class and you've all enjoyed the dishes. Thank you so much to all of the consultants and team leaders on today, and especially thanks to Sadhna for providing, as Amanda eloquently said before, such authenticity to our Indian dishes today and all the tips and techniques you gave us. Thank you very much, Sadhna. And we're very pleasure. You've decided to come back and join us for a little while as a Thermomix consultant as well. So we're very proud to have you on board. Which brings me to big thank you to our customers. We've had up to 350 people online at any point today. Thank you for all of the inspiration we've had and the support in the chat box. Has been amazing. Of course, there are going to be some of you who would like to invest in a Thermomix today. Why wouldn't you, after seeing all the beautiful dishes? And if you do, please, your consultant will contact you, no doubt, after today's cooking class. If you're not attached to a consultant, you are more than welcome to stay on at the end of this session and talk to me about how to organise that. If you'd also like to find out more information on the Earn For program, please stay on, or joining the team, please stay on and talk to me about the information that's involved there. And I'm going to be providing a short information session after this class right now for those who are interested to find out a little bit more information. Otherwise, you are free to leave. Enjoy your Saturday afternoon. We hope we've inspired you to cook some beautiful Indian dishes in your Thermomix and explore cookie dough a little bit more. And thank you, team, for another amazing cooking experience / class, of which more you can expect through your own team members as well. Week in, week out, we're offering these kind of experiences all the time. So we'd love to welcome you to more for continued inspiration and fun and connection. Thanks, team, and thanks, customers.
Thanks, Libby. It was great.